Robin, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Hey guys, it's great to be here.
Yeah. Now, when the team received the cease and desist, what was your reaction? Because you did actually have a conversation with Nintendo about this, is that correct?
Yeah, it was a heart stopper, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
I guess for context, the Big House has been an in-person thing for 9 years.
Yeah.
We did not move online until this year. That was a COVID-fueled decision. So, when I canceled the in-person gathering this year, knowing that was the responsible thing to do during the pandemic, I thought, well, Slippi is a huge breakthrough, and let's use it. Fast forward a few months, we announced Big House Online. We have plans to use Slippi, and then that's when Nintendo stepped in and said, "Nah, we don't like that." So, I knew it was theoretically possible, but I was still shocked that it ended up happening.
Yeah.
Right.
What were the conversations with Nintendo? What did they say to you when it was just straight up, you cannot do this? Was there any workaround? Did they give you any other options here?
There were initial conversations before the C&D happened. It wasn't that I was blindsided by the C&D without any open dialogue before. I have to be honest, the conversations were pretty spooky. I went into the first conversation with kind of the understanding that the Nintendo competitive play department, they have to do their due diligence. They have to check in on events that have been sponsored by Nintendo, as we have for the last 4 years. So I get that. And at the same time, I came out of those meetings with the impression that they wanted the event canceled because Slippi is just not a thing that they're interested in supporting or acknowledging or condoning. So to me, it was because of the planned usage of Slippi, it was a matter of survival for us. It's like there's a certain quality threshold that we have to meet here with what people want out of the online event. And at this point, the community has widely adopted Slippi. So that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that the conversations were spooky, and I actually think I know what you're pointing at, because when you walk into a room and you're surrounded by people who have spent their careers and many years of their lives studying a specific language and the way to talk, did you feel ill-prepared for it? Or do you think it was something that kind of took you by surprise?
I went in kind of with an open mind. It's really interesting you bring that up, because for a lot of this time, the major TOs of the Melee scene specifically, we've kind of been skirting this line when we talk to Nintendo. And it's a little bit of this don't talk, don't tell kind of thing, where we think Nintendo knows about some of the little mods here and there that we're doing. But if we bring that up to them, then they have to acknowledge it, and they potentially have to escalate that to somebody higher up. So to be honest, a lot of the conversations in years past were just like, yeah, I see what you're doing. You're good. We don't need to say anything more. This year, they kind of led with the Slippi implication. So
I see.
They already knew that things were happening. They know what it is, and it is a matter of just dancing around that in the conversation.
Yeah. A large section of the community has come out pretty strongly against Nintendo's decision. Particularly, they started the hashtag Free Melee. Is there anything you'd like to say to the community, knowing their reaction? Oh no, that's sad.
I love that Slippi mascot.
I know, it's great. Oh.
I haven't seen these before. They're great. It feels good. Like, personally, I just want to be transparent about what happened with my event.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not here to incite any backlash. I think it's my role to provide the facts and to arm the community with those facts to decide what they want to do.
Right.
So yeah, like it's been great to see people really passionate about it. You guys were talking about the passion earlier. Like, we are the pot of bees. We don't die. It's like, so I feel like the main reason for that is it's more than just about Big House. Big House is one event. It's about the survival of a game that we really love.
Yeah.
And that we can only play right now through Slippi while in isolation because of COVID. So I think it is super unfortunate that, this is the 1 year where we're forced to play online. And it's also the same year that Nintendo hits, one of the biggest upcoming tournaments that we have with a cease and desist. And people know that. They're speaking up about it. They're very passionate about it. I like that.
Hero of Time in chat that says that Ludwig has responded with a charity Melee tournament, pretty much daring Nintendo to cancel it, which is interesting because Melee, even with a charity situation in the past at EVO, got in a little bit of a complicated situation with Nintendo, despite the fact that they raised over $100,000 for charity.
Mogul moves, right?
Yeah.
I have a couple of thoughts on that. I think you see the community reaction in the last 2 days to what Nintendo did. I think the only way to kind of measure what impact that had is for somebody else to poke the bear.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if that's Ludwig, then God bless him. I support that. And we have to see like what exactly made Melee choose Big House first? Is it just because they had to act really quickly with the development of Slippi before it escalated? Did they think it was the first domino that was going to fall, and they just kind of wanted to, like, cut the head off first? I don't
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
And I think Ludwig is a good man for trying to find out why.